Do you know what stopped me from quitting alcohol for the 10 years that I drank? Was one thing and one thing only. And today I'm going to show you what that one thing was. I'm going to show you how to overcome it and how you can stop drinking alcohol without any willpower, without going to AA meetings, without feeling like you're missing out on anything. I'm going to show you how I did it. And very quickly, if you want instant access to a brand new video training that I've just finished showing you how to control alcohol in as little as 48 hours, then click the link in the description. This new method is not about using willpower therapy or AA meetings. It's totally different. I do not publish this video anywhere else online and it's already changing thousands of lives. So click the link below for instant access. Once you're on the next page, enter your name and email address and your free training will begin. It takes just 7 minutes to watch, but it'll feel like somebody flicks a switch in your brain. And honestly, I'm not sure when I'll start charging for this 7-minute video training. That's how good it is. But whilst it's still available, click the link below, enter your name and email address, and watch that video now. So, what was the thing that stopped me from quitting drinking alcohol? It was all in my mind. So, what I used to think is that if I stop drinking, how am I going to deal with life? How am I going to deal with stress? How am I going to be able to socialize? How am I going to go to a nice restaurant? How am I going to, unwind after a hard day? How am I going to celebrate? But I had all of these things that I associated alcohol with. So I used to think, okay, if I don't drink alcohol, how am I going to survive? How am I going to do all of these things? And even when I didn't drink, all those beliefs were still there, right? I saw alcohol as this thing that added loads of value to my life. So even during like the periods where I'd stop and start, because I drank for about 10 years, but I would stop a month here, 3 months there, 6 months here. I stopped and started all the time. Even during the periods where I stopped, I still held on to these beliefs. And I'll tell you what those beliefs were. They were nothing more than fear. And it was the fear that by stopping drinking alcohol, I would be worse off. That's it. This fear is totally irrational. I'll tell you why. All of those things that I thought that I associated alcohol with were often created by alcohol in the first place. I'll give you an example. So I used to think, how am I going to relax without alcohol? Let's just break this down a little bit further. When you drink alcohol, you're actually addicted to a drug. Don't skip the video. I know that might sound like a shock, it might sound a bit harsh, but it is drug addiction, right? You're drinking a drug. When you take a drug, it's an addiction. There's just different levels of severity, no matter how you want to put it. Even if you only drink a glass of wine a night, there's still some level of addiction. So what happens in this relaxation example is when you don't have the drug, there is a very slight feeling of not being relaxed. There's a very slight feeling of agitation. Now, for a heavy drinker, there's a very big feeling of agitation, but even for the casual drinker, right? For the person that drinks half a bottle of wine at the weekend, they still get this weird slight feeling of agitation. So during the 10 years that I drank, I would get that feeling and then it would instantly be gone as soon as I drank. What I thought was happening before I studied alcohol and before I started researching is I thought alcohol was making me feel relaxed. No, it wasn't making me feel relaxed at all. What was happening is alcohol was creating a feeling of being unrelaxed in the first place. And if you've read any stop drinking literature, this kind of example comes up time and time again. But the point of the matter is almost every fear I had about stopping drinking alcohol was created by alcohol in the first place. I'd give you another example. I used to think that if I drank alcohol, I was more social. If I really reflect back at my life, what it may have done is alleviated a moment of fear to approach a new person or maybe to say something a little bit controversial or outlandish. So it would remove this sense of fear. But did it make me more social? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, man, if I get 4 beers in me, I am talking complete nonsense. Oh, I remember I was in a members club once in London, and I have this really vague memory, and I have got no idea what I said to this guy, but it was this massive black dude. He looked like, I don't know, some gangster or something. He looked scary as. And he stood up and he like pushed me and confronted me. And I'm not, I've never really got into a fight like that before. And I was like, oh, what? And I can't remember what I said. That's the thing, is I can't remember what I said. Wait, hang on. So wait a minute. I'm afraid of stopping drinking alcohol because I might not be able to socialize. Yet at the same time, I might be getting my face punched in because I'm socializing whilst drinking. Do you see the insanity of all of this? See, the reason why I struggled to stop drinking alcohol was because of this fear. And all of it was in my mind. Every little bit of it. It was all in my head. And once I stopped drinking alcohol, all the reasons why I thought I drank went away, and I felt totally fine without drinking. Now, how I got there was when I stopped drinking just under 7 years ago, is I did do a lot of introspection. I read a lot, I thought a lot, I did a lot of journaling, and I really unpacked it. And that's why there's no chance of me going back to alcohol, because I really reflected on it. And these days, I'm totally fine to socialize without drinking. I feel 10 times less stressed, and if I do get stressed, I've got ways of coping with it without going to a drug. If I want to relax, guess what? I don't need to go and drink a drug that makes me unrelaxed in the first place. I can have a bath, right? I can go for a massage, I can go for a walk, I can talk to my partner, I can watch a movie. There's a million ways to relax that don't involve taking a highly addictive poison. But the fear of stopping drinking alcohol is massive. It is the biggest problem that people face, and it's exactly what I do in my program, is we eradicate this fear. So then, rather than stopping drinking feeling like this fight and this struggle in this battle, it feels more like a logical choice. Because that's what we're trying to do. We don't want to live our lives struggling and fighting and resisting alcohol forever. Oh, mosquito. I must not get bitten by a mosquito. I think I've said this in a few videos, but I got dengue fever like a year ago, and I'm terrified of getting bitten because I think if you get dengue fever a second time, you can die. Anyway, we're good. The point of the matter is you have got nothing to fear. And I'll tell you this, I went from being fat, lethargic, financially broken up with in my relationship, destroying a business, to stopping drinking and literally living the life of my dreams. Being in a place like this, I'm about to get married. I got into the best shape of my life. I've been able to travel the world. We just got back from like this amazing 6-week road trip across all of America. It was insane. We're now here in this incredible villa. I mean, all of this stuff happened after stopping drinking alcohol. And I'm telling you, you've got nothing to fear. Life just gets better and better and better. And if you click the video on the screen now, I can actually show you some warning signs that alcohol could be doing some serious damage. You definitely want to watch that next.